Good afternoon again, you beautiful souls. Day 2 of my new walking home series. Today is entitled Redefining Home. So what I want to talk about, when I say redefining home, this is something that's kind of really shifted for me over the past year or two, especially since we've been traveling anyway. I've always been kind of a drifter and living in different places in different countries, but especially since we've been on this kind of full-time journey of full-time traveling while we're house and pet sitting, I think it's definitely hit me a little bit more. You know, I think that also, we just hold you up here. What is home? What's it? What is home? What does it mean to you? I think home for me, as I said yesterday, is where the three of us are, me, Sam and Dylan. As long as we're kind of together, I firmly believe that is home. And, that's how we carry it, we don't have to have a physical address. We just have to be together and do what we do. I think when we first started living nomadically, I think part of me still believed that home was always a place that we needed. It was somewhere to feel, I wouldn't say grounded. Grounded's the wrong word. I think it's something that you're attached to. Let's say attached. I think attached probably a better word. You're used to a regular place called home. Your friends are there. Your family may be local to you. You've got that sense of community at home. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. But it's almost like you're tied to a place, a postcode, a front door. You just get attached, don't you? So I guess attached is the right word. But over time, we really started to realise that it's not the building, it's not even the country. It's that you're born in. It's not the country that you're born in. Some kind of, I know for Sam will probably talk about this in one of her videos. She was born over here in the UK, and her parents, they emigrated over to Tenerife, when Sam was young. And, she's lived over there since she was about 8 years old, 8 or 9. She lived in Tenerife, and obviously that's where we met. And our son Dylan, he was born in Tenerife. And it's not even a country realistically that holds you unless you've got close family ties. I know some people, sorry, I just got something flowing into my eye. Some people have lots of close family ties and they don't really want to leave. Some of those relatives might be a little bit elderly, and you kind of want to spend the last of your time with them, maybe, or something like that. I think home is so much deeper than just a physical object, a physical place. It's a lot deeper than that. I think home is where you return to. Home is what's inside of here. What's inside your heart. Where do you call home? What would you say that what calls you? Home for me is, out here in nature. Home for me is exploration. Home for me is exploring different places. Look, I say this every time, but just look at this amazing forest. And, I get to come and walk this every single day. And it's quite nice at this time of day, actually, although it's red hot outside. In here, it's nice and cool, and it's perfect weather to do things like this. And so, I think the moment that you look around and you realise that you don't need 4 walls, you don't need those 4 walls to feel safe and secure. I think all you need is presence. And I don't mean gifts, I mean presence. you know. I think that's all you need. You know, I feel so much happier, so much healthier. I haven't got all the world's dramas on my shoulders when I come and walk in nature. You know, I just haven't. I haven't got any of that. And I think when your child is laughing next to you, I mean, me and Dylan have had so many laughs and giggles on our adventures. You know, for me doing silly things and Dylan doing silly things and Sam doing silly things. It's those, you know, Sam walking hand in hand with me on some walks. You know, us being together and exploring together and having this great opportunity that we have and doing it all together as you know, the threesome that we are. And that's what's magical about it. That's what's absolutely stunning about it. I think this is just going to lead me around in a circle, so I'm actually going to walk the other way. I think that's what's magic. You know, there's no, you know, we don't have to pretend to be somebody. We just ourselves. You know, we haven't got to be someone else to fit someone else's narrative or keep up with the Joneses or anything like that. You know, we're just ourselves. You know, we're free. We're free to do whatever we want whenever we want. And isn't that really what everybody wants in life? To have freedom to do whatever you choose, whenever you choose to. You know, I think, you know, yes, we've had some highs and we had some lows, but the majority of the time has been, you know, way higher. You know, way higher than the lows. You know, we've been welcomed into some amazing country homes, and just homes in general. You know, it doesn't have to be big homes. We've had big homes, we've had small homes. You know, we've been in flats down at the coast. You know, we've been in some amazing places, and if you followed my feed for the last couple of years, you would have seen some of the amazing places that we've stayed and where we've gone to, and you know, big country manor houses with peacocks and owls and things like that. You know, swimming pools and things. You know, down to a beach where we've got amazing variety of things to do along the coast, and even in the city, you know, in London, where we've, you know, took Dylan and actually taught Dylan about London, because he's never really seen it, he's only been through it. So we went and taught him about London, you know, took him to Buckingham Palace, took him, you know, to the Natural History Museum. You know, walked from the National History Museum round to Buckingham Palace and then round. We actually ended up in Bishopsgate, where we done something that was called Horizon 22. Now, if you've never been, Horizon 22 in Bishopsgate is absolutely amazing. It's a really tall building, and they've got a view. It's absolutely free. They've got a viewing platform. I think it's on the 54th floor. And you can go up there. There's a little cafeteria and stuff up there. Lots of people actually take their laptops up there, sit with a coffee and work from up there. Floor to ceiling windows, and it overlooks the whole of London. You can absolutely see for miles. And you know, we was up there and pointing out, you know, the different buildings and what the different buildings are and everything like that. So, you know, it doesn't matter where you are, there's always joy in everything that we do, and we love exploring. So what's better than just to chuck a rucksack on, bottle of water in the bag, and just go off an adventure? You know, me and Dylan do most of the adventuring, actually, to be fair. Sam's usually at home. She doesn't really come on massive adventures with me. I mean, me and Dylan, sometimes, you know, we can be gone all day, leave early in the morning, and we'll go out wandering and seeing what we can see and what we can find and explore different places. And we probably might not come home till 7-8 o'clock at night. And we've probably done about 40-50 miles in that time. You know, but I generally tend to do this every day. For a good couple of hours, I'm usually out walking, just exploring and seeing different places. So, you know, it's not just about, you know, living free. It's having the ability to just jump on a train or go and do this or go and do that whenever you feel like it. You know, each place we've been is different. Yes, temporary, but different. You know, what remains constant for us is our rhythm. You know, is our presence, our way of being. And really, when I say our way of being and our presence, you know, here right now in the woods, You know, I feel my presence here. You know, I know I kind of sound spiritual, but you know, I have learned to ground myself, especially over these last few years. I have been working on myself quite a lot, and I have learned, and I'm grounded, and I feel so much healthier. I feel so much happier, and you know, I feel amazing, and life is amazing, and it will only be as amazing as you let it. You know, and this is home. This is home. So all I would say, if you're someone who's been chasing a dream of the perfect house, or you know, maybe you're someone that feels stuck, you don't know where your home is, you know, maybe you're asking yourself that instead, you know, where is my home? Where do I feel at home? Because you know what, no matter where we travel to, even before we started doing this, no matter where we travel to, if we went on holiday or visiting relatives or whatever, nowhere felt home. You know, although we've had physical houses to call home, nowhere really felt home. And I think I've been like that most of my life, in all fairness. Nowhere really has felt home because I guess it's always been in me to travel. You know, since I've left school, I've just travelled. You know, I went halfway around the world thanks to my parents. You know, by the time went up to secondary school, so you know, I guess travelling has always been in my blood. It is me, and I think that is my calling. I just love different places. I love being in nature. I love seeing new things and meeting new people, and I think that is just me. You know, maybe ask yourselves, you know, what does home feel like? Not where it is. How does it hold you? You know, just ask yourself that. Because once you find that feeling, I think once you find that feeling inside, once you learn to carry it, it doesn't really matter where you go. Doesn't really matter where you go, because home is here. Home is where the heart is. Not wherever I lay my hat. It used to be wherever I lay my hat. Growing up in the teenage years, I was here, there, and everywhere in different countries and stuff. But you know, home is now here. It's where me, Sam, and Dylan are, and this is our home. The world is our home, not one particular place. This forest isn't my home. Just this planet is. This world is my home. I'm just going to change arms for a second. You know, the world is my home. So I think once you ask yourself that question, see what you think, and drop it in the comments. Let me know what you think, where your home might be. If you've got the itch to move or you don't feel at home, let me know. Okay, guys, I will speak to you all tomorrow. Love and light to you all. I'm going to stop and have a glass of a bottle of water. So love and light to you all, guys, and I will see you tomorrow.